right, ladies, how is everything going?
Going well,
It's going good.
We all making it. We here another day.
Yes.
Another day. I hate to say it like that, like we like 90 years old. But you know what? I'm just gonna say this. Has this week been long?
Yes.
Like super long. I put out this post today and I meant it to my soul. Like 8 hours be feeling like 900 hours sometimes. Like I just need a break. I need a break. Summertime just make you so tempted. Like, oh my God.
Well, I just got back from a retreat the other day, so I'm still trying to get my days acclimated because I came home on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Oh, that's the middle of the week blues almost. That's the middle of the week blues. Oh my goodness. I think the hardest thing is, so many things is happening right now. I don't know about you. I just feel like I'm just dealing with, I want to be on vacation. I know it's so much things I have to do, but I just want to be in a relaxed mode. We can ready to go on a little hiatus in a couple weeks, and I'm just looking forward to it because COVID has done a lot. I'm just gonna say that COVID has done a lot, and I'll be so glad just to have some fun. Don't y'all miss
But
having fun?
it's much needed. It's time for a reset button. We've been on go, and we have been with things just happening and going on, whether it's personally or worldwide, and it's just sometimes it's heavy, and you need to relax.
To relax.
Take some time for you.
Take some time for you, and I hope
For
everybody
your own well-being.
Yeah, you know what? I think we have to really start saying this more and doing it more, because I think we say it more than we actually do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I make sure that I rest. I make sure I have fun. Like the first year, like 2020-ish, but come 2021 summer, I was like, oh no.
That's good though.
I was like, you've already taken a year of my life, and like I just have to find a way to maneuver, because the days just bleed into each other and they waste away, and I can't function in that way, and I try to help my clients not function in that way, because it can leave you depressed. It can leave you going off on your family and isolating yourself, and so I refuse. I can't do it.
Natasha, because we know you are our expert on the porch, and we don't want to put any of your customers or your patients out there. So have you seen like a shift in like people's mental state since some things have been opening up and trying to get back to halfway normal?
Yeah, it is a lot of, what's crazy enough is I've had a lot of women, I'll say late 30s. I just got an email the other day and she was 55, reaching out to me about something got to give. Like something has to give. I'm not happy.
Wow.
I know that like I need more pleasure. I need to be doing more. I need to have more. I need a shift. And I found it interesting. And I was trying to figure out, as I'm looking at the pattern of women in their 40s, late 30s, and their 50s, I'm like, what's going on in that time period that, now I'm being flooded with, like, I need the pleasure. I need to prioritize myself. I need to have fun. I need to have sex. Like, I need these things, but they're having a hard time navigating through it because there is no one who taught them that that's okay.
Right.
To have those things.
Right.
That you can put yourself first, and that's probably like the best way to do life, because everyone benefits. So I'm getting those that are realizing that that's what they need to be doing. And it's probably because we've been in a state of emergency for years, of isolation. And it's just a realization of, what am I doing all this for? If I'm miserable, or I won't even say miserable, but I'm just I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. And they're becoming okay with saying they're not satisfied, because that's almost like cursing. How dare you say you're not satisfied with your life? You got your kids and everything. That's not enough.
So maybe do you think that it's because most women, if they have families, they spend their time nurturing and caring for their family, building their jobs up, and then when they get in their 40s and 50s, the kids are, if they're
gone,
teenagers are gone, and you look back and like, what have I accomplished for me? What have I done for myself?
Yeah,
absolutely. So a lot of us experience that, like, what do I need to do now? I need to fulfill my dreams of things you put on the back burner because of your family or different things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm trying to catch women before that, because it's just so much. Like, my mom is one of them. She's put her all into me and my sister, and now she's trying to figure it out. And I'm just like, I got 2 kids. I don't want to wait that long. Like, I want to live now. So I'm trying to catch it in the front end and help women realize that you can prioritize yourself. Like, everyone, it is a win-win when you choose to give from a overflowing cup, to make sure that you're happy, make sure you have your me time, your friend time, your partner time, boo time, whatever, family time, kids time. Like, it's possible to have all those pockets, but our mothers didn't know, our grandmothers didn't know. So it's hard to figure out what that means when you've only seen survival mode in the matriarch before you.
Right. So, and I don't think our generation knows. I think we're catching up to it and learning how to, like, do that for ourselves. But no, I think we were the same way.
Yeah. It kind of leads into our topic tonight, though. And I think so, because before we jump off that topic, I just want to say, hats off to you, Natasha, because I know that dealing with people's personal journeys where they're trying to find themselves is it's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot, and we have several people that come on to the porch and, come as experts, just like as you do. And a lot of people are really challenged during these times, really challenged because we've been in a downtime for 2 years, and we're in peril times too. A lot of things are going on. It's like so many moving parts that, and I don't really hear a lot of people. I have a close circle, like Keisha's like my sister girl, and I have a close circle. I don't hear people like complaining about things going on, but I know that a lot of times people don't share things. You see what I mean? They don't share things, and I think we were taught to be like that, taught to keep it moving. You know what I mean? Keep it moving as much as we can. So when I say it kind of leads into our topic tonight is called love scams, and we're going to talk about scams too. But when we say love scams, it's a lot of people being scammed by love and trying to get into relationships, and almost, me and Keisha talked about this yesterday. I hate to use the word catfish because that is a trademark name, but catfished, you know what I mean? Because they want relationships. Sorry about that. They want relationships, and they are getting into things that are not legit. So that's our topic for tonight, because we're going to talk about some love scams and some scams that are happening now. And when me and Keisha was talking about it, I don't think it just happens to people who, or women or men that are seasoned. I think that people fall into things because they want to have viable relationships. You see what I'm saying? And we, and my thought is, I think we have taken out a lot of the social aspect of it, and we're now into the virtual aspect of it, of social media, meeting people, and so on and so on. But we really don't know who people really are right now. You know what I mean? Before, we could meet you down at the club or something, meet you in church and things like that. Even down to church, think about it. People are virtually going to church, you know what I mean? So that interaction has been limited. So scams going on is huge, like down to scamming people for their life savings. They think they have their love match. Hell, they don't have nothing but being robbed. So, all right, I'm gonna turn this over to y'all because I have a really crazy story to tell y'all before I get into my. I'm gonna go last, but Keisha laughing. So who want to go first? Love scams. Love.
I think it's sometimes it is how do I want to say it? There is a lack of self-esteem or a lack of self-worth to believe that that's the only way that you can get someone, and that you can't actually physically go out and believe that someone would want you for who you are. And so they just take whatever comes, or used to being alone. And so someone gives them a little bit of attention, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, of course, this is amazing. No one has ever said these things to me. But we know these people they're professionals. They know all the right things to say, but they also know who to target. They know the signs, they know what they're looking for, they know who to approach, they know who's going to give them the time of day. It's an art form. Unfortunately, it's like a horrible thing to say, but
it is.
It's an art form of being able to scam someone into falling in love and giving away your everything.
Well, I'm gonna say this: the person that I knew who actually got love scammed, they did not have a persona of being fragile or desperately needing a relationship. They were the total opposite. They had a really tough exterior, you know, they were very career oriented. They had been married before, and they spent many, many years single, even dating people. So when they got love scammed, it kind of shocked a lot of people. It shocked me. It really, really shocked me because they were like, I don't take shit type of mentality for real. Like I'm not really going for this. But the person was so suave, where I say they were so suave. I probably would have fell for it myself, but when I found out, there will be some shit going on. I'm telling you, when I found out, you know, it's going to be on. But the person played like they were a doctor. And they act like they were going to work every day. They had a specialty in cardiology. Now you got to be some bold brass balls to pick out a specialty like cardiology too. You know what I mean? Like I was like, yo, that's like really up there. You got a lot of patients, but they picked out a specialty and every day. And this is how it kind of started. The layers started to peel back because they introduced me to the person, and I was just starting really my business, my salon. I was doing it, Keisha know I was doing it inside my house at first. And she gave me a suggestion, well, maybe because my husband, he's a doctor, and he can help you, you know, get some, you know, more upscale clients that, because, you know, you can do all types of hair, and I can, you know. But when I talked to him, he was like, he called me and he said, can you send me a picture of you? Bing, bing, bing. Why? You know, why? And he was like, well, because the people that I want to introduce you to, you know, they like really pretty women. What the F that got to do with anything for me doing hair? I could be Buster Blue. That don't have anything. If I'm really talented with these, that don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? So I just like, yo, my friend is married to you. Like this is really going off the rails. So I was like, no, I don't really want to have customers like that. I'm just looking for preferably females. You know what I mean? I can do males, but preferably females because, you know, they're coming to my home right now, and I don't really want to have males coming to my home. He said, would you think about modeling clothes? What the fuck? Where are we talking? What are we talking about? You know what I mean? How are we getting all the way to this left field? So I was like, well, maybe we could talk later. So I just kind of cut that conversation off, right? But I actually told my husband Keith about it, and he was like, yo, that sounds really strange, Kimmy. Just, don't try to talk about this person was my good friend, you know what I mean? And I was like, I need to tell her, you know what I mean? I need to tell her what's going on. But I'm not going to come out and say it the way it happened. I'm just going to tell her what the interaction was, right? So I talked to her one day and I said, well, when I talked to, your husband, I think he had the wrong perception of what, I was looking for. I think he thought I was looking for some type of, modeling thing. She was like, what? No, that's not what he's looking about. But just forget it. Okay, forget it. Roll the tapes forward. She started to get the red flags. She came and she visited me several times. And the bad thing about it was everything that we kind of thought that me and my husband thought that they were getting together, he was accessing her. She had retired all her money and buying things. And literally when she found out he had left, was living with another woman, took her dog, took the car, everything. And literally she had to start her life over. Like she had to have someone intervene, like mentally she was broken. You know what I mean? And we would never, ever thought, when it came out, he was not even a doctor. None of these things were true. He had a criminal record. And I'm telling you, it can happen to so many people because after like the smoke cleared and I felt that it was a good time to talk about it. She was deep in her heart. She was like, I was lonely for somebody. And that goes back to what you said, Natasha, you know what I mean? Everybody has feelings and maybe you portray yourself some way and things happen. So that was a really horrific story, but that goes back to what that can happen to anybody. So,
I think a love scammer, they really reel you in and they listen to you because it's just like, say for instance, you're meeting someone and you're beginning to date them and you just start telling, you tell things that you like and you just, go over your life and everything. And they listen very intently of things you like. And when they start telling about themselves and they say, oh, this person really likes when I say this, they get something that resonates with you and say, okay, I'm gonna keep that going. And then they'll start to reel you in and do a lot of compliments and whatever. And then it turns into a scam of whatever they can get out of you, unfortunately.
So let me ask her a question, because what I told you was a horrific story, but do y'all think that love scamming is somebody who may just have a narcissistic personality, just like you said, Keisha, just intently listening to you and picking up clue words, you see what I'm saying, to benefit from you, you see what I'm saying, just to get something from you that's going to ultimately benefit from you and take something from you?
I think that if we're talking about love scammers, because I know people who have done the online dating thing and haven't been scammed. Eric and Paula met online, and but it was a reputable site, and they do background checks on people and stuff like that, and they make you take, the Myers-Briggs test, and they do a lot of that. But I think that people who get scammed are getting scammed by people who are just simply thieves and they found another way to do it.
The thieves are really smart. They're not dumb.
Mhm.
They're not dumb. So, you know, we think a thief is always the person that's coming up behind you doing a pickpocket, or a person that's snatching your purse.
Right.
But thieves come in several different forms. And so I think that basically that person is a thief and they just found another way to do it. You know, because a gigolo is just that. He's doing what he's doing to get money. Does that make him a thief? No, because he's giving you something in return, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, prostitution is the oldest profession, they say, right? So that's still different than a person who is deliberately taking from you, and that is their intent from the beginning. It's just a matter of learning how vulnerable you are,
Mhm.
so that they can realize how much they can get from you and what they can get from you, because it's not always cash, but it's many other things as well.
Mhm.
Now that's just my take on it. And they have many different personality traits, not just narcissism, but I just think at the end of the day, they just are a thief who's doing it on a different level.
So I was trying to think of that movie. I think it was called Tender Swindler.
Mhm.
That on, you saw that one?
Mhm. Mhm.
That was crazy as hell. But
It
when
was
I went
very
back,
interesting.
that was very, very. But what got me more than anything about that was how after they proved him guilty and, you know, so on and so on, the little bit of time he got, he was right back out doing he
Same
back out
thing.
the same thing. You know what I mean? Like,
That's his profession.
it's his profession. Like, he was
Mhm.
rolling. I mean, he was rolling. And I'm not talking about, you know, I'm not even gonna say expensive. I'm talking about living a life as you were wealthy. You know what I mean?
Extravagant, very extravagant.
Yes, I was like, yo, that was some crazy stuff.
So then is that low self-esteem, or is that the person who got schemed? Are they being an opportunist?
No, I think that's calling the same. Keep doing the same thing over and over again and get the same.
No, not him. I mean, the people
the
that
women.
do. Well, what I'm saying is, but it's almost similar to the Anna Delvey story, right?
Mhm.
People want to be in the end, and they
Right.
want to be noticed. They want to be with the people who are important.
You want to be in the point that you giving the money up?
Well,
Because
yeah.
they think that, because they think that it's the long game. They're playing the long game.
Oh,
They
well,
think
that's
Right. And then there is that, it's a sense of, I can't believe this is happening to me. And it goes back to, and I'm not saying that someone's self-esteem is like so through to the ground, but there are just some things that people don't believe they will ever have, like, how is it that I would meet someone that has a private jet and has all, like, what did I do? I never would have thought like I would meet someone like this. So then it becomes, and he was very suave, lifestyle, all of that. And sometimes
he was
it's
a
just like,
little dude though. Like, really, they were kind of me.
it was the lifestyle.
Yeah.
It was the lifestyle, and he was very smooth with what he was doing. And so if something like that is appealing to you, and it's just like flashing it in front of your eyes, hey, look what I got, knowing that I will never be able to attain that type of lifestyle by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone comes along and you choose me, out of all the people, you choose me to fly me on a date to another country. That, if you're not paying attention, that'll sweep anyone off of their feet. You taking me where, and you bought me an outfit and these shoes and what? Like,
it will sweep me, because guess what? I'm gonna be sweet long as you keep buying me that. Because the moment you ask me for something,
right,
that's when all bets.
But see, that's breaking you down, really. They're buying you stuff, and say, for instance, if they're doing that, and then all of a sudden they say, well, I really need whatever. It's a small thing, and you say, okay, I can do that because you've done so much for me.
That's what
and then it kind of be, well, I really need this. I got this going on, or whatever. Can you just do this for me, or I can get you this wealth too if you just do this. Send in your money and do this, and you can have the same thing. It's and that's how they play it.
I would like to think that I would never get got, but you just never know. I mean, I'm in a place where it's like anything I want, I could get for myself, but there are some things that just in the space right now is not attainable for me to get a private jet, right? It's not attainable for me to go get this yacht and be on a yacht for days at a time in Italy or anything like that. So I would like to think that I would catch the red flags, but I cannot put anything past anybody.
Right, because how much would they have to do for you to have to believe it? Because if they have to do that much for you to have to believe it, you will have already walked away and not
right.
But if it's people learn people. And so when they're good at what they do, like Keisha said, their intent, they're listening, they're gonna know what impresses you. They're gonna know what you like.
And they've probably been watching you for a while.
Right.
So I think that's where I would fall off a long time ago, because I'm going to fall off a long time ago. Because first and foremost, what I tell people I have a skill probably one of my number one skills is listening. I'm a really, really, really good listener. And I got that from my father. You can say a lot of things, and if I hear double talk, I may not even say it, but it's always stored. You know what I mean? Because a person that, and I'll say a little bit, because my father was like, he had a job, and then he also knew the street, and he established a lot of those things in me and my brothers and sisters. And I could tell you, the things my dad used to tell me, I carry with me to this day. If you listen what a person says, especially when somebody is doing something that is a scam or something that is not legit, believe me, verbiage is everything. You know what I mean? It will be a double talk. It'll be something that will run into each other. Listening will always catch you. But just like you said, Natasha, and you said to Keisha and Chauncey, if your inner drive wants something, you'll bypass that because you're not hearing it. You see what I'm saying?
So that's why I think it's not always self-esteem. We have to start recognizing when people themselves, if I'm being an opportunist, I have to be honest with myself. I want to believe you because that's what I want.
That's what I want.
It's not low self-esteem. It's about the fact that's my desire, right? So I'm doing it because I wanted to do it.
Because I wanted to do it.
Right.
Believe you. But now, because now we go to court and we got to tell our stories and all of that.
Yeah.
God, I was a victim. But really, were you? When you knew that you'd be sitting next to Beyonce or you might be looking at Drake or whatever, then the answer was yes. Oh yeah, I'll do whatever I got. Oh, that's where I'm going to be. That's what I'll be doing. And
it's a lot of people like that, though. It's a lot of people like that.
Most people are like that, right?
Right.
The person with the low self-esteem is the quiet, shy librarian who wears the glasses and a bun pulled up, and she has $60,000 in her savings account, and then the tall football player comes in, and that's more believable of they were taken advantage of, as opposed to, me, and then now you flash this and I might be interested, and to be like, okay, well, I'm willing to do it because I'm with it. I just want to try it or whatever. So
yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, so it's not that something bad didn't happen to me, but I was kind of willing to go along for the ride.
Right.
And so we have to be able to say that. And then giving up money, like Kimmy said, I dated a guy one time, and everything was nice. We hadn't been dating that long or whatever, but it was going pretty good. And then he was like, yeah, I'm having trouble with my car, but can you rent me a car?
Absolutely not.
Right. No.
My insurance don't work that way. So and then he stopped, he told me he didn't think that it was going to work.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. And now everything becomes apparent. I was a single mother. I was divorced. I had 2 teenagers or whatever. And yeah, I had a car and all of that. He knew not to ask me for my car, but Like, no, where they doing that? Like,
And yeah, and that's funny because some people are getting love scammed and the person don't even got any money. So they sitting on their couch every day using their car.
Using their car and using their house and eat their food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think it's just
because it ain't just you're right. You got a bad point. It's not just richness. I mean,
no, it's
dollars
not.
and Gucci pocketbooks and Fendi and things like that. It's okay.
You know what it
came to
is.
your house after the club and gave you some, and then he never left.
Yes.
It's that double D. I call it the double D, the devil dick.
He in your house and he'll never leave with his feet on your couch and like
holes in his drawers. Like,
wait a minute. Now you can't get rid of them or get them out because now
right.
you evict them. You have to formally evict them from your property.
Your house. Oh God.
I was watching a documentary about, I think it's like Horrible Neighbor or something like that. And it was a guy, he was a scammer. And so a lady put out an ad in Craigslist for a roommate, and he showed up to do an interview with his stuff. And he was there long enough to where they could not get him out. And everyone that he did it to ended up losing their apartment because he was so bad. But he was bad so that they would leave. And he never paid rent. He had animals, like he was horrible. But legally, when he got that piece of mail, they could not get him out.
That's all that
makes them a tenant. Yeah.
Once you watch Pacific Heights.
Oh, that movie makes me
as a business owner, as a person who might own property, you never look at people the same way. You have to do your homework. And so it's the same thing with love scams, because sometimes it's not about the love scam. That's just part of it. It's still, Kimmy, your friend in her situation, it was beyond a love scam when he pretended to be a doctor.
Right.
That was on a whole nother
level.
He was a whole different person.
Right. But at the end of the day, he was still just a thief and found another way.
Another way.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm reading AARP and it said warning signs. So, warning signs to look out for. Your new romantic interest sends you a picture that looks more like a model from a fashion magazine than an ordinary snapshot.
See, there we go.
Person quickly wants to leave the dating website. I know you mentioned, Chauncey, a dating website earlier, but say for instance, you meet that person on the website and they want to leave the dating website and communicate with you through email or instant messaging.
Because those sites, they have a certain process and they do that for a reason.
And they're monitoring it.
That's right. And when you want a bucket because you say you're trying to save $1 or $2 or whatever.
And let's see, they lavish you with attention. Swindlers often inundate prospective marks with texts, emails, and phone calls to draw them in.
Love bombing.
Do you think that would draw me? That would not draw me in.
That sounds
like that. It was on my nerves. I mean, I'm glad.
They repeatedly promise to meet in person, but always, say for instance, this is virtual. They repeatedly promise to meet you in person, but always come up with an excuse to cancel.
The 90-day Beyonce stuff.
Yeah, or they make a sudden request for money to deal with an emergency. They always have an emergency, or make a surefire investment. Like we talked about earlier, let's invest this money, your money over here, we can invest it. So those are the warning signs to look out for.
Yeah, and see, with your friend Kimmy, that's another thing that I think about with women, and I'm gonna say, like, Black women, we walk around so strong and we only give as much as we think people deserve to hear about what we're going through.
Right.
So it's like, while we're having these conversations, it's like, I'm just going to give you just enough so that I'm a part of this conversation, or to make you feel like our relationship is that deep. But in reality, you're not sharing how you really feel. You're not sharing, I'm really lonely. I just want someone to love me. I want someone to lay next to me at night. I want to have that companionship. When I watch you and your husband, it makes me feel some type of way, but we're friends. So I'm not supposed to feel that type of way. Instead of just getting out of our own ego and saying, girl, when I see you and your husband, that kind of made me feel sometimes I'm actually very lonely. Then you would be able to like swoop in when you got those first, red flags and be like, girl, like, what are you? Because we always assume that everyone's fine if they say they're fine. Right. And then something like that happens to them. And you're like, girl, what? Tell me how, honey. Tell me how. And then that's when they start being honest. And you're like, I had no clue you were feeling that way.
You're hurt by that because your friend has been devastated. Yeah.
Right. So we have to be honest about how we're feeling, because there are people out there who they can sift through the surface that we portray, the mask that we put on, just like I'm trained to do that. I can read people's energy. I can read people's body language. I can read in between the lines and be like, you're lying to me. Ooh. There are people out there who can do the same thing and they don't use it for good.
They use it for bad. I'm telling you.
Right. And so we just have to just start being honest about what we really feel. If you can't do that with your circle or your whoever, then you need a new one. You just have to accept that you need a new one.
Wait a minute. Repeat that again.
So if you are not comfortable with being vulnerable and honest with the circle that you have, you need a new one. You just need a new one.
That is a good point right there. Because your circle can protect you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They could protect you. Because I don't want to see anybody I love, you know what I mean, going through something like that. And I have several friends that are single, you know what I mean, and dating people and stuff like that. I think, well, now I'm just probably even more outspoken than I was when I was, a little younger, probably even in my 40s. I don't say it to hurt anybody's feeling, but I will tell you. I will tell you because I don't want anybody to go through unnecessary things. It's just, let's eliminate the bullshit. Just, I'll just tell you
right, and not be so sensitive about it.
Yeah, and because that friend who's always saying, I'm fine by myself and I'd rather be
lies.
I'm like, really? Because the thing is, we weren't created to be by ourselves.
Exactly.
And so why can't you admit that you want someone? And then the other part of that is I just haven't been able to find them yet.
Right.
And so, but people are so busy saying, oh, well, girl, because you married and you got this. And I was like, yeah, but do you know what I got to put up with to have that? Do you know the concessions we have?
Let me tell you about marriage. Hell, that's a whole other big beast over here. Let me tell you about what goes on over there. You're crazy.
So what you think is this perfect thing, or you think is so much better, there's still a give and take to it.
Right.
There are concessions to having that, but you still have to allow yourself at some point to be vulnerable in these situations, but you have to learn from them, right? And that's what we're saying about, like I said, the love scams. I look at some of them, and that's when I was just saying, some of it's not even about the love. It's not. It can turn into that, and that's how the one person started out. But if you were paying attention to the person who was scamming you, you would have seen from the beginning that it wasn't about that to begin with. Because you can have a person who listens intently to you and understands you and is a good listener and all of that, and still don't have romantic feelings for you.
Absolutely.
Right. Oh my God. Do you know what? I have a post that I need to put out about that. You know what I mean? I throw things out because I really hope people read, right. But that's a big one. You can get mad at somebody because they didn't do what you wanted them to do. You see what I'm saying? But if they're honest with you.
But never told them what you wanted them to do.
Come on now. You know what I mean? Stop doing self-torture to yourself. Stop trying to make people villains and demons and make yourself the victim. When you haven't spoken up, you haven't said anything, and guess what? You knew from the beginning he didn't have a job. When did you think that that people were there to buy your pocketbook? You know what I mean? What you mad for? You know what I mean? I'm just saying a scenario. What you mad for? You know what I mean? Well, reality is reality. You know what?
The same thing to my niece one time, because she had this post and she was breaking down her children's father, and and he don't come and see her, but he got these crocodile tears every time Father's Day come up, and these posts and I said to her, why are you so angry? And she was like, what? Because but he had 4 kids before you laid down and had the one. So then whose fault is it that he is that way with your child?
Because they assume that I had this conversation today with the client. You go into situations assuming that I will be different. Even with love scamming, the next one could know that he scammed, but it's like, I'm different. I can change you. I can make you love me. I can make you change your ways.
Okay.
No, they are who they are. When they show you, you just believe it. We cannot change anyone. They have to want to change themselves. And so we either decide, I'm going to deal with the bull, or I'm not going to deal with it anymore, because you're not going to change. You are who you are. And that's part of the issue. I can change you. I can make you be different. I'm the different.
You need to have a mindset. You're not in it to change nobody. You need to, I'm not here. I'm gonna
flags are
take this the way you is. You don't have no job. That's all right. I don't want your job. I just want you for a love buddy, a snuggle buddy.
Absolutely.
That's all I want you for. You mean, be for real. Guess what? If I always say this all the time, and my husband always be like, shut up, Kimmy. Like, if my husband was up, if I wasn't married, I'd be like, guess what? I got a good job. I got my own things. If I just need you for a snuggle buddy, that's all I need you for. I don't care if you ain't got nothing else. If I just like what I'm looking at, that's all I'm looking at. You can't come stay here. You can't come leave nothing here, sock, nothing. I got my own thing. You just
my girlfriend before who told me that.
Huh?
My girlfriend before who told me that, and I said to her, then don't let them come to your house.
No, they can't come here. You can't come here.
Right. You don't even need to know my address.
You ain't gonna know my address, and
I'll meet you there.
You get blocked on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You know what I mean? You I have complete control over that. You know what I mean? But
we get a free night at the hotel. We can stay at the hotel. You can keep it if you want.
You ain't gonna have no problems, and don't be calling me. Well, I feel when you use that word "feel," get blocked. Because but I'm just joking, y'all. But I'm just saying, you know, I think made some valid points, and I think we need to do another episode probably in season 4 when we talk about men, because we ain't talk about men, because men get scammed by women.
Oh, they
too.
do.
They get all the time. You know
they were the original ones being scammed, and I think as women we got better at it.
We have to do a continuation on this, because love scam sounds a little on the feminine side. So I think that we'll probably change the name in season 4 to something else for males, because I think in season 4 I want to gear a lot of things more to talk about how men, you know, the male persuasion. You know, I get a lot of comments about that, about we leave out men, and I don't know why they say that, but you know, I like to listen. So because of that, we're going to have a lot of attention drawn to them. So in closing, what's the final remarks? Keisha?
I would say talk to your family and friends about your new love interest. Tell them all about it, and listen to them if they hear concerns about what you say about that person.
That's a good one. If you trust your family and friends. That's right.
Well, like she said, your circle, your good circle.
Your good
circle. The good circle.
The good circle.
Chauncey?
Same thing. I think that I've always been a proponent of, if you're seeing anyone, not to do things in secret. My mother taught me that at a very, very young age. If they can't say people about you, do not say anything, because if you were to show up pregnant, that'd be the first guy to be like,
girl, no, you didn't say that word.
It ain't mine. You know what I mean? So I think that I think it's the same premise, right? So you don't have to introduce them to everyone, but with that circle and let them be able to feed off, because I think with any relationship, no matter how well you want to get to know a person, how they interact with the people that are in your life is very, very important.
That's a good one. Natasha?
I'm gonna say check your feelings. Check why you feel the way you do about someone. Check is it too fast? Our intuition will tell us
Mhm.
everything we need to know. And 9 times out of 10, your intuition will give you the flags before it even gets to your brain. So pay attention to your body and get out of your mind and even your heart, because they both are liars.
Well, this was really good, y'all. So we'll talk a little bit in the after show real quick. But this was our last episode for season 3. And I'm glad it was my A crew on here. And look forward to joining back up in season 4. Everyone have a wonderful night. Check us out on our social media pages. And that is, I say this all the time, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Hopefully you guys are checking out YouTube. You get to see our beautiful faces. So we'll join you again next season, season 4, September. I don't know what the date is, but it'll be September. And have a good night on purpose. I'm your girl, Kimmy. And joining me tonight is?
I'm Chauncey.
Keisha.
Natasha.
Have a wonderful day on purpose. Good episode. So
Yeah.
That was good.
this will be the last episode besides the, season finale one I will have. But this will be the last episode that will drop for season 3. So I think we covered a lot of things. The biggest thing I think is, again, the male portion of it, that we need to come back in season 4 and probably have CG on here or Jay, you know what I mean? God knows what they would say, but we need to have, or let me say this, maybe y'all can invite a male, you know what I mean, that will have their perspective, you know what I mean, even if you think of one, Natasha, you know what I mean, that will have their perspective, because I think we need to talk about more vulnerability, in the male perspective, because men are crying out for their mental health to be looked at as well, you know what I mean, and especially Black males, you know what I mean, that's really important. I think we're going to touch on that a lot more than we did in season 3. So we touched on it because we did, but we'll touch on it a little bit more. But it is about us, the ladies. So we want to have healthy men. You know what I mean? So that's really important. So anything else you guys think we could have covered?
Oh, I think we had a good.
Yeah, we had a good discussion.
Yeah.
I think it was a really good discussion. I think
I love this crew. So
and I think it was good how it just kind of veered off as, and helping people to understand that even from the victim perspective, what part as a victim you can play in that, in your behaviors and what it is that you're looking for and how people can read that. When Keisha originally brought that up, a person reading what your desires are. It's not necessarily a flaw, but they're reading what your desires are. And now they're feeding into what those desires are, which has you let your guard down so that certain things can happen to you. So it's not about having low self-esteem or anything. It's about that person having the ability to read your desires and then playing on those desires. And so that's how I think most of the people get scammed, right? And so then when Natasha was saying about how a person might feel like, especially on a much higher end level, oh my God, me? Somebody like this, or I'm all of that plays into it. And I had never thought of it in that perspective.
Me either.
Yeah, so that was really good. I enjoyed that.
I appreciate it, Natasha. So also next season, Natasha, I know you have some good topics that you can share with us. So we definitely going to talk offline, because I think we can, because I know you see different people, and I think that the things that you're exploring and you help people with would be really good topics. You know what I mean? And you know me, nothing is off the table. You know what I mean? Because this is real life. You see what I'm saying? This is real life. I don't want to get around nobody who don't act like they have sex. I don't want to get around nobody who act like they don't be naked. I don't care what you say. If you don't do those things, then you're not human. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stop pretending. Come on, let's be for real. So yeah.
Mhm.
But again, this was a good episode. Look for us in season 4.
Yay.
Have a good evening, and thank you, ladies, and see you again in season 4.
Thank
Good night.
you. Bye.
Bye.